This is Spoken English course. My name is Vishali.
And my name is Harsh Verma.
We are students of Government Mahindra College Patiala.
And our today's discussion is brief introduction to Anne Lamott and synopsis of her chapter Shitty First Drafts.
The chapter Shitty First Drafts has been written by Anne Lamott in her book Bird by Bird.
Anne is an American author, novelist, and essayist who has written novels, non-fiction books, and memoirs.
She was born in San Francisco, California in 1954.
Her family conditions were not very pleasant and favorable for a child to nurture. This led her to develop into a different personality than other children of her age.
She developed early maturity and her bent of mind towards reading took her mind into the realm of fiction.
In order to avoid her disturbed household situations, she used to read a lot and thus she became earnestly interested in writing.
She struggled a lot with her personal life challenges, including severe problems like depression, but these obstacles only fueled her untamed spirit for more learning and more exposure to books.
The sense of insecurity and passive influences are commonly seen in her works.
Anne's style of writing is humorous, lucid, and deeply personal because she tries to explain her writing through her personal experiences.
She is a master of blending her personal struggle into literary language, and it doesn't seem personal at all.
Her art of generalizing is what makes her unique.
Now, let's discuss synopsis of Shitty First Drafts.
As the title of the chapter indicates, this chapter deals with the rough notes and drafts drafted by writers when they start a fresh writing are called first drafts.
Every writer has his own way of writing,
Some believe in a spontaneous overflow of one's true feelings.
while some try to jot down certain points in a rough draft before final writing.
The title Shitty First Drafts indicates the raw, innocent, and childlike drafts that are used by the writer to begin his writing.
Their first drafts are usually casual and free from any restrictions of diction, metre, or verse.
It is after scribbling on these first messy drafts that a writer writes a fair second or third draft.
The final draft cannot be achieved unless these insignificant first drafts do not get torn up.
And in this chapter shows us the significance of first draft in the journey of book writing.
All good writers first write these first drafts and then they write the final drafts of their writings.
All the flaws, errors, and imperfection is taken on the first drafts. Still, these drafts are abandoned and new second and third draft is created.
People who read the works of famous authors often think that great writers simply sit down on their desk every morning and words automatically come oozing out on the blank paper out of their billion-dollar brain.
However, the reality is far from this.
Even famous writers too need to make rough drafts and they too cut and cross a lot in their initial drafts.
Perfection doesn't mean mere experience, rather, it comes after attempting a lot of imperfections.
Anne Lamott describes her own experience of reading and writing to make the concept clear.
She always begins with making simple drafts of her writing in which she writes the outline of her topic, expected length of each point, weightage to be given to the different subtopics in a topic, and a suitable beginning, middle, and end.
To write is not an activity that can handle hassle on the part of the writer.
The writer needs to be patient, observant, and should have a great sense of responsibility towards his writing.
Writing is a challenge in itself and it needs to be handled with a genius mindset who could mold it according to the demand of the readers.
When a fresh author begins to write something, most of the times he is not sure what is going to be the final outcome of his writing and how it is going to be received by the readers.
Writing and reading are inseparable, but still both are far apart from each other in terms of technique, style, and reception.
When a writer writes something, he has a particular concept in his mind, but it is not necessary for the reader to read it from the same concept or adopt the same perspective.
In Anne Lamott's words, quote, sit down every morning and say to themselves nicely, it is not like you, don't have a choice because you do, you can either type or kill yourself, unquote.
Thank you for watching it complete. Stay tuned.